Hey, so it has been a while since I've done one of these videos. This is just a Gen 6 OU game against someone obviously by the name Blazing Cow. It was a really fun match, and afterwards I thought I'd just record it and upload this right now. Yeah, so looking at this team preview, I just always lead off with my Genesect with Scarf, U-turn, Bolt Beam combo pretty much, and I just got Flamethrower there for some other added coverage. So yeah, I'll be leading off with him. I assume he's going to want to lead off with his Galvantula to set up the sticky webs, which would be a big problem for my Infernape, really. He's got the Heracross that could potentially be, scarfed with Moxie, or that's probably going to be his Mega, seeing nothing else is really eligible. And that Bronzong. That Bronzong, man. Well, anyways, without further ado, let us actually get on with this game. So he actually leads off with his Delphox instead of his Galvantula, which was unexpected, but I do send out my Genesect thinking I can just go for the U-turn. With the +1, it shouldn't be too bad, but he actually outspeeds me in Fire Blast, takes my Genesect out on the first turn. I was absolutely distraught by this, but he's clearly scarfed, so he's locked in to Fire Blast, so Jellicent will take that just fine. I send that in, and opposed for going for Scald for super effective damage, I do have Shadow Ball, and I don't want his Crawdon or Tentacruel resisting it, so I do hit it with the Galvantula with a Shadow Ball, and which is good. So I switch out to my Infernape thinking he's going to want to go for the sticky webs, and he would be hindered mostly by it, like I said earlier, and he actually hits me with a Thunder and does a clean 70%. I did not see that coming, so I do just end up taking that thing out with a Flare Blitz, and after the recoil, I'm down to 12%, so it's not looking very good at all. So he's going to send out his Crawdaunt right here, and obviously he's going to want to go for the Aqua Jet, and yeah, don't really want to deal with that, so I'm just going to go straight out to my Jellicent. The immunity is there because of the Water Absorb, of course. And here I want to Will-O-Wisp his Crawdaunt to get him to -2, so even if he does have DD, he's got to use those turns setting up, and I could just be shuffling him out with my Zygarde later, but as you can see, he just knocks off my Jellicent and Okos it, so all of that was pointless. I send out my Breloom because that seems to be my #1 counter to this thing at the moment, but I just go for the Spore, really wanting to put anything to sleep, and his Heracross comes in to be sleep fodder, and I actually find that quite useful. I mean, that will actually be his Mega, as you'll see later, but he's put to sleep now, so I don't need to worry about it. So I do Rock Tomb in case he gets a first turn Wake, or if not, I get to lower his speed right there, but he switches in his Delphox, obviously not seeing that coming, because Rock Tomb is a thing I really like to run on Breloom, especially with Sash to take out Talonflames, but that's not this set. So he does bring in his Bronzong, and my Breloom just does not know what to do with this. It takes the Rock Tomb very well, obviously. He just sets up the rocks, and I want to get out of there. And I do send out my Zygarde right here. I don't know, I just want to Dragon Tail him out, get him out of here. He does in fact Toxic me, which is really going to hinder my survivability, which is going to be annoying, but you really can't do anything about it, unless I run Lumberry Zygarde. But he takes out Bronzong, he brings it back, and sends in his Heracross, and I just Dragon Tail it. I wanted to Dragon Tail his Zygarde and bring in the Heracross, if anything, but he switches to his Heracross, and then I Dragon Tail back in his Bronzong. So that was pretty much, well, it wasn't a wasted turn. I did a lot of damage to that Heracross of his, so I do start setting up the coil, because I know at this stage my Dragon Tails are going to do nothing. I can't hit him with Earthquake, because I'm going to assume that he's going to be the Levitate variant. I don't see why he wouldn't be. And then he sets up the Light Screen, which I'm fine with, really. I'm a physical Zygarde, and I see no reason why I would want to switch out. So he hits me with an Earthquake, and it does absolutely nothing. And I Dragon Tail him out into his Crawdaunt, which is fine here. Like, I'm seeing I'm taking a bit of poison damage, but at this point, I really don't see Zygarde being too useful, so I'm just going to keep it in. He does, in fact, switch out his Crawdaunt to bring back in his Bronzong, maybe assuming I wanted to hit it for stab damage Earthquake on his Crawdaunt and then Levitate, but I don't want to waste a turn, especially how much toxic damage I'm taking. So I do in fact E-Speed. He tries for a last-ditch effort, maybe to score for a crit on the Earthquake. Doesn't happen, and I Dragon Tail him out, which is really the last move I wanted to make with my Zygarde, because now that I've done that and I die to Toxic, I can switch in accordingly to what I Dragon Tail out. So now that I see that his Crawdaunt's in, I'm going to send in what I naturally see as a counter towards this thing at the moment, which is actually my Breloom. And he's obviously scared out by that. So he switches out his Crawdaunt, goes straight back into his Bronzong, and this Bronzong is a nightmare. I just go for the Bullet Seed. I'm kind of getting over the Bronzong and having to predict it, and the Bullet Seed does nothing. It only hits twice. If it did more, it might have been okay, but now the light screen wears off, which I guess is alright, and then I actually see that is a good opportunity to bring in my Landorus. I do take the Stealth Rocks damage, which is alright, and he misses the Toxic, which kind of sucks for him. And I see right here, now that that's happened, he's going to actually send in, I think it's his Tentacruel, right, and he just takes the Focus Blast quite nicely here. Resisted, specially defensive Tentacruel, obviously, but the next turn I am just gonna opt for the Earth Power. He just left it in, maybe he thought he could live and scold me or something along those lines, but nope, his Tentacruel is gone, and now his Crawdaunt's in here, and we play a bit of cat and mouse here, so I don't want to take an Aqua Jet, obviously, so I switch my Landorus out and bring my Breloom straight in, and yeah, I don't really take it that well, which sucks. And, well, Breloom's really frail, so I can't really expect much from it. But he sees my Breloom, his Crawdaunt, he's obviously going to switch to, what do you think? Bronzong, obviously. So I'm just going to go right here for the Mark Punch, because I know it'll hit his Crawdaunt for super effective damage, and just neutral on Bronzong, and I guess I just really don't want to try and fish around to get more Bullet Seed hits to do more damage. So I bring in my Landorus here, and I'm taking that Stealth Rock damage, and now that he Toxics me here, it's even more unfortunate. So right here, I'm just sitting in here, and I'm a bit worried. I'm not really sure what I want to do with this Landorus. It's Toxic and Stealth Rock damage, so I kind of just want to keep this in. And he brings in Crawdaunt, and I go straight for the Focus Blast. He's in fact sashed, which is interesting, but I actually stay in because I assume that he is going to predict me going into something else. I actually outspeed him and Earth Power him here, thinking that he wasn't going to go for the Aqua Jet there. And he doesn't, and it pays off, because, I mean, Breloom is alright now, but he's not really necessary, so I could use Breloom for death fodder later on. He brings in his Heracross. He does actually show me right here that he is the Mega variant, and yeah, tough. I outspeed and Psychic. He was not going to live that. This is a Life Orb Sheer Force special set, and I'm down to my last bit of health from the Toxic damage, and here comes his Bronzong, and just going to go for the Focus Blast, and yep, takes out the Bronzong, finally. So that was a really good game. It went 26 turns. I really enjoyed it, and as you can see here, I did agree. I did indeed think it was a very good game, which is why I uploaded this. But yeah, it was looking very bad for me at the start, but I pulled it back, and I ended up winning. But either way, even if I lost, it would have been a good match. A lot of nice predictions here and there, but yeah, thanks for watching, everybody.